get touched by people I don't tell to touch me, so I'm gonna get out of the building because if I touch somebody, I go to jail. Niggas hate because I'm a motherfucking rich gang and shit. You niggas keep trying to test me. I keep trying to test me. Keep trying to see if I'm under the fire and shit. But anyway, y'all was on media take out on World Star and shit. Yeah, Birdman put me in the ass for the deal. I'm gonna be real. Birdman put me for the deal, man. I suck rich gang. This shit on my motherfucking face. I fuck rich gang for. I fuck Bird for. Stop some guy for rich gang, you know, nigga. Stop playing my mama. This my shit. Don't come out here. Yeah, here with police. I'm out here one-on-one my mama. I'm trying to beat his ass one-on-one. I'm out rock his ass on GD. Fuck you talking about.
Please help me out this situation, God. I'm tired of thinking about. I'm tired of selling my body.
This is a bench. I'm on a public bench.
Yeah. There is a place.
This is a place too. There's a place for all of us on the bench.
Enjoy the bench.
Stay right there. The police are on their way. I'm scared. The police are on their way. So this is the one I want. Can I touch your hair?
Associate doing their job at Evan. They're trying to backpedal because they realize that they've messed up so badly. When you screw over one black woman, you screwed over us all.
Are we all doing a maniacal laugh? We're doing an evil villain laugh. I told y'all we have all the power. I love it here. They have to make this statement after ignoring it, after turning off their comment sections. They made a statement because you know what's happening? Their money is disappearing. We did it. Lo hicimos. We did it. Okay, y'all, say it with me. Basura. Basura. We hold all the power because we're their biggest profit margin. So we're going to put this money somewhere else because they don't deserve it. And that's on period.
Is my Tesla showing me that someone is following me on the way home? It moves when I change lanes and it has been following us for about 10 minutes. I have been having my Tesla for over a year and I have never experienced something like this. Should I stop somewhere else before going home? Anyone has any theories? We are freaking out.
The main heir of Count Dracula? I agree. That sounds insane. I bet you $1 million.
Bring that up, Jamie.
Type in Prince Charles, Count Dracula. Okay. Prince Charles is the heir of Count Dracula.
Is that right?
He moved in 5 years ago to Count Dracula's castle, and he lives with a group of homeless children in it.
No, he does not.
I swear to God.
Prince Charles. Prince Harry's dad.
Prince Charles, the heir of the throne of the dragon.
Okay.
Is a Transylvanian prince.
According to this Google search from express.co.uk, Prince Charles has distant kinship to Vlad Tepes, the 15th century Wakallian ruler, whom the Irish novelist based his Dracula.
Hold on. Prince Charles, like the one that we all know. Prince Charles.
Yeah, he's related to Count Dracula. Or Dracula.
Same.
But it's way worse than that.
And
he lives in Dracula Castle with children.
According to express.co.
I swear to God.
He lives with, that's also on express.co.
According to this British tabloid.
Get 5 punches right in the nose. Why? He lives, it says, with the orphans in the castle.
Prince Charles?
Pull up Prince Charles, Dracula Castle.
That's how you do a Google search.
Yeah.
God. You just cut your shit in
This
half.
guy's good at Googling.
Prince Charles, Dracula Castle. Look it up, Jamie.
Okay.
Everyone's going to do this. You're going to find out my line. And I remember like 10 years ago, finally, he's like, I live in the castle. Little boys, he's like, I live in the castle with them. It's like Dracula Castle on a mountain, like you saw in the movies.
Is that why they say Andrew's the pedophile to distract from Charles?
Prince Andrew. Don't point at me and say,
what are you doing? You are crazy, dude.
Yo, you right. My bad.
So, wait a minute. Now you really got me onto some shit. The worse things that you do, the more interconnected you are with these interdimensional beings.
You have to commit these crimes against humanity to prove your cred with them. Yeah.
Why do you have to prove your cred in that way?
Because they're damn demons.
So how did
all
you
the
find
higher
out?
order stuff doesn't involve itself. Like you think of God, like God's way up there, but there's all this other stuff. Prince Charles is the main heir of Count Dracula.
I'm the local congressman here in the district. Right here under the bridge, you're seeing hundreds of people getting processed, and this is every single day.
So it's just sort of like that's the bridge, and there's like people getting processed, and then they come across on those the trains over there.
Yeah, exactly. It's like an initial intake spot, and then they'll send them through, but it's nonstop all day long.
People just want to understand exactly what's going on, but assume that people do not know what's going on.
Well, you got to go back some time, and whenever the open border policies from the White House kind of got thrown out there, we've been overrun.
How long was that? How long ago was that?
Cool. What year was that?
2 years ago.
We're on our third year. We've been battling it for 2 years, and
okay.
Change. So
you're saying there's been an open border policy essentially for the past 2 years?
It was an invitation.
An invitation.
That's how I read it. That's how it was told from the White House. So they don't have a clue what's going on here, I don't think, because if they did, maybe they would care. Maybe they would. I don't know.
How does the train impact you? Because the trains have been a big story lately. There's a train just over here. This is kind of where it starts, Elon. Where you see, all these thousands of people on a train. This is where they're coming through, but it doesn't end here. It just starts here. Yeah. Medina County is where they're going to make it to the big cities like San Antonio.
Two major rail lines come through my county, and on those the illegals ride. They actually control the trains because they know how to crank down the brake on the car so that when it passes a heat sensor, the conductor has to stop the train, the illegals get off, the people come to get them, and all the stolen vehicles they're stealing from all over the country. Nearly every one of them is in a stolen vehicle.
The fact that we are seeing all-time highs in illegal processing, that ramp is increasing.
Yes.
So these are really important points because the public isn't. I think it's not necessarily clear to the public. Is this normal, or are we seeing an accelerating crisis?
It's not getting better. It's getting worse. Last Friday a week ago was a historic number, 11,000 people that came over.
Okay.
And then on Monday, that number increased. Today is Thursday, and that number increased. We're only going in the wrong direction. This is a week. What happens 2 weeks from now? It's the wrong way.
Okay. So basically, we're seeing unprecedented, all-time highs, and increasing,
and spreading. Yes. It's not in just one area. It's not just like it's just one city or one town, not even one state anymore. It's not, we're talking about New York today, but Chicago, you're hearing it there. L.A., Denver. There's all these other places where it's just spreading, just continues to get bubbling up.
And just to quantify it, I think you said 2,000 a day or something, just in this location.
Just here.
So that's like over 700,000 a year.
Just in this one location,
Okay, just 700,000 sort of illegal immigrants a year, just in this one location.
Just in this one location.
Okay.
El Paso, right now in El Paso.
That's higher than the population of Wyoming. FYI.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, and that's just one location. What is the total number from all locations roughly?
In the millions. I mean, it's so literally millions, and those are just the folks that we know have engaged. What about all the others?
That's just who was actually processed.
Yes, the gotaways are the ones that
Yeah, so meaning that like the actual number is much higher.
Much higher.
Okay, that's very important for people to know.
Yeah.
That the actual number is much higher. Is the official number something like 2 million or something? Where is it?
It varies, and it depends on who you ask. But I've seen it as high as 2.6 million. And that number.
Have you ever heard about the man that got his body chopped up and came back to life and they calling him the Black Jesus? Jesus was originally black anyway, so. This is Simeon Toko, born February 24th, 1918. Born in the Congo, Toko was known for performing miracles upon his people. He was the one that helped Congo gain independence. January 4th, 1959, they say Toko sent his army of small people against Belgian colonists. It said they saw human beings with supernatural powers, short but very muscular. The occurrences of Toko's abilities goes way back when he was younger, and 2 Portuguese workers told him that there was weeds stuck in a tractor. He started the tractor up and his body started getting chopped off. They thought they succeeded, but his body started to regenerate. After this, they got so scared, they started the Tokish church. This much power was threatening to a lot of people. He even had Catholic priests try to throw him out of a plane. But he stopped the plane midair. Not playing with niggas. The most prominent story is when Portuguese doctors tried to perform surgery on him to take his heart out. In the middle of them taking his heart out, he woke up with no heart in his body and said, "Why are you prosecuting me like this? Give me my heart back." They put his heart back ASAP. There's even a photo of him showing the scar afterwards. Before Toko died, when he was 66, he told them that more people like him were going to start coming more alive. Say his body is still undecaying today in a mountain in Angola.
Which, and remember, I was told at the time that if I disclosed this, that I would be killed. And I ended up putting it in the book anyway. The story was that this guy, they finally said, okay, we're going to bring you to the United Nations and share your message with the world. Let's get you on this flight. They bring him on this flight, and instead of bringing him to the United Nations, they shot him repeatedly, and then actually had some kind of meat grinder device, and basically like a bandsaw, I guess, and sawed up his body into a whole bunch of pieces, put him in these very like radioactive shielded containers, and then had all these fighter jets dock with the plane and fly his body parts to all corners of the world, where then these containers turned them into ash. And they thought that maybe this would defeat him, like that his body somehow, the tissue was necessary. So if they destroyed all the tissue in all these places across the world, maybe they could defeat him. Well, he then regenerated in their offices and was fully fine, fully intact. But the sad part is that he said, you guys so badly do not want me to be here that I am not going to be able to do any more. You're going to get what you want, but bear in mind that in the future, many others like me will be coming, and when they do, you will not be able to stop us.
Wow.
Buddha, ikitu ni mind blowing, ikitu ni nare, ikitu ni fire. Nalienda api mzee?
FDA has allowed for foods that are GMO to be labeled organic. It tells you that it is a GMO product, genetically modified organism.
And why do we want to stay away from GMO foods?
Because it's synthetic. The body can't recognize it. So it wreaks havoc in the body. Think about it. They're grapes. Grapes grow with seeds. Mm-hmm. But now you can buy organic grapes that don't have seed. There is no food that is seedless naturally.
What are preservatives and why aren't they good?
Well, many of them stay in our bodies 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, and they form as free radicals. So the body can't digest them. They don't know what it is. And free radicals eventually come together and clog arteries or turn into disease. I don't tell people that, oh, you're going to die if you eat that. I don't say that to you. I encourage you to do your own research, okay? Because there are a lot of foods that are GMO that are not labeled GMO. Mm-hmm. So you don't even know.
Right.
Okay? Because the FDA so conveniently made it so that these manufacturers don't have to label it anymore. They used to have to, but they don't now.
So taking care of you is your responsibility. I read those books and started practicing, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is it. And that's when I began to understand the importance of knowledge. Let food be thy medicine, and medicine be thy food.
So I heard people are trying to claim that hoodoo is open to everyone again. Hello, my name is Jihei. I'm a scholar of religion, and my master's thesis is about digital hoodoo communities on TikTok. And I, as a non-black person, to all the other non-black people out there, I guarantee that I have read more about hoodoo than you have. And in everything that I read, in the thousands and thousands of pages, not once have I ever thought to myself, I have the information necessary to go and practice hoodoo myself. Because that's not why I research what I research. So let me read you something from the book Slave Religion by Albert Rabbitoe. I'm so irritated this is still a conversation. The prevalence of the idea that conjure was African in origin and that Africans were especially powerful conjurers indicates that slaves thought of hoodoo as their own separate tradition. Here we go. Hoodoo was created for revenge against overseers and masters. That was a clear theme in the folktales and ghost lore told by slaves to one another and to their children. In these tales, ghosts, witches, and conjurers redressed the wrongs which the slaves could not. Then, too, the world of conjure answered deeply felt needs within the slaves' own community, where white control inhibited the free outward expression of social conflict. So here's the thing. This is why I get so pissed off when people try to come on this app and say, oh, anyone can practice hoodoo, it's open, blah, blah, blah. It was blended with European folklore. Hoodoo was literally created out of the pain and suffering of enslaved people in the United States. It is the only indigenous folk religion of African Americans. There's just no way. Can you guys just cut it out? Cut it out.
Comes next is hands down the greatest rap diss of all time. Kendrick just said, what do you think, rap is my whole life? I got a son to raise, but I can see that you know nothing about that. Waking them up, you don't know nothing about that. Telling them to pray, you don't know nothing about that. Then giving them the tools to get through life, like day after day, you don't know nothing about that. Teaching them the morals, integrity, and discipline, you don't know nothing about that. Speaking the truth and considering what God's considering, you don't know nothing about that. Hands down, this might be the greatest portion of any song in this for this reason. I'm calling it right now. There is going to be a TikTok challenge sound, whatever, that's like, you don't know nothing about that. He literally made this in a cadence so that the most disrespectful part of the entire song is something that you'll know over and over and over. It's called a trick in music. They do it kind of often. Think of, please allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is... See how you it lived in your head melodically? He did that with the ways that Drake is not a good dad. Kendrick Lamar literally said, let me start this with a Teddy Pendergrass sample and then talk to you about your poor parenting skills. Hail Mary is a good diss song, but I never heard somebody correct another man on how he raises his children in a diss song. AI was cool, but he was like, did you even go to a parent-teacher conference? Do you wake your children up in the morning is the most disrespectful rap bar I've ever heard. Because we know you don't, Drake. I had to put it in blue. I thought it was so fire. Ain't 20v1. It's 20v1 if I gotta smack the dudes that write with you. You're a ghostwriter team. That's a 20v1. Drake feels like it's a 20v1 because he probably watches all those YouTube videos of teenagers. But everybody in the industry came out after Kendrick, which I think also kind of made this weird for Kendrick. It was just a Kendrick thing. But Tell Beanie better stay right with you. Am I battling a ghost or AI? Feeling like Joel Osteen. Funny, he was once in a film called AI. And my sixth sense is telling me to off him. This would have been such a great bar had you got the name right, Kendrick. Joel Osteen was the man who had a mega church and locked all those people out during the flood and the hurricane. Haley Joel Osment was the kid who was in The Sixth Sense and was also in this movie AI, which is great, by the way. If you haven't seen Artificial Intelligence, great movie. Damn, that would have been such a good bar. I get it, their names sound the same, we knew what you meant, but it's got to be one of those things like after an argument, you're like, oh, I should have said that. I know Kendrick's gonna be kicking himself over that one. I'm a blick dudes, all in they coffin. Yeah, OVO dick riders tell him to run to America to imitate heritage. They can't imitate this violence. First of all, he says all in the coffin, and OVO's logo is often a coffin. Then he tells all these people to come to America to bite the heritage, and you can't bite the violence. Like America moves different than Canada when it comes to certain numbers. That's not the flex that we want it to be. What do I learn? These dudes don't like the West Coast, and I'm fine with it. I push to the line with it. Pick a dude off one at a time with it. We can be on a 3-hour time difference. Don't speak on the family name, Crody. He does all this in a very Drake accent because Crody is like Canadian for like bro or Brody. It's very Canadian-ish. I hate that I'm going to say Crody like this. Don't speak on the family, Crody. It can get deep in the family, Crody. Talk about me and my family, Crody. Someone going to bleed in your family, Crody. I'll be at Newhall King eating fried rice with the dip sauce and the blammy, Crody. Tell me your cheesin', fam. It's the disrespect from me, bird. Tell me your cheesin', fam. We can do it right now on camera, Crody. Hey, all y'all dudes. I don't trust y'all dudes. I wave one finger and dump all y'all dudes. Like, Field goal punt, y'all dudes. Stay punk, y'all dudes. Nobody never took my food. Whoever that's fucking with him, you dudes. The industry, too. If you ain't taking it there, I'm taking it further. Psst, that's something you don't want to do. And the best closing he could. We don't want to hear you say the N-word no more. We don't want to hear you say the N-word no more. How did you take the N-word away from Drake? You just made it less cool for him to use it. That is some deep psychological warfare. Like, you've changed his rhyme scheme. It's like telling Metro to play drums. You're like, we don't want to hear it.
That it felt like I was walking down something that was hidden and the animals were placed around something. Do you want to see what I'm talking about? Are you ready? The buildings were eventually absorbed by the San Diego Zoo. And this is coming straight from the San Diego History Center website. Absorbed by the zoo. Let's continue. Remember that in 1935, they shut the California Tower down, or the Museum of Us, and the public was no longer able to see inside. 2 years before that, buildings south of the El Prado were gone by 1933, besides 2. So there was, in my opinion, without a doubt, a clear operation at this time to hide this park from the public, to rewrite its history and make it fit into their mainstream narrative. Because in 1923, they knocked down the Sacramento Valley building, 8 years after the exposition. This building was outdated? No. And we all know about the fire stories by now. And if you haven't, get ready. The fire stories are the nod to the hidden group that these buildings are from the old world. They were built by a previous civilization. A house fire does not burn down stone, and it doesn't burn down marble or brick. It simply doesn't get hot enough, and we have shown this. The Southern California County's building burned down in 1925, right in the middle of all of these other buildings getting knocked down. So they just randomly have a fire? Of course they do. After what we know about the fires, this is normal and acceptable? No, it's not acceptable. So they give us the fire story, and then at the exact same time, rip all these other buildings down. And then at the same time, they make one off limits for 80 years to the public. And we're just supposed to trust this story? We all understand that the hidden past is that an extremely advanced previous civilization constructed these buildings very easily. A civilization that we are not being told about. A civilization that had all of the technology that we have today and much more. They had phones, TVs, planes, trains, artificial intelligence, and much more. All of these things are being given back to us since 1776, in my opinion. If you're interested in learning more about that, we have episode 10 and 38 that talk all about this. We are being lied to about these narratives with fake characters, fake construction companies that build 2 massive buildings and then never build anything ever again. With zero training, of course, changing buildings' names to attempt to trip us up in the research, and that's not going to work. They repeat names with the AI-generated stories, and on and on. So, 1933, 10 years after they tore down the Sacramento Valley building, 8 years after the fire story, they tear down 2 more buildings at Balboa Park, the San Joaquin Valley and the Karen Tulare County's building. So here we are given a construction photo of the Varied Industries building, which shows us the incredible construction process. Just look at those workers go. Look at all of the equipment, the dedication, never taking breaks, working by candlelight, no distractions. It shows us all of the men. It shows us, it shows us a building that's done. This thing is done. This is a completion photo. But according to the city of San Diego, this is a construction photo. I mean, this is honestly equivalent to me going into the road right now and turning around and taking a picture of my house and telling everybody that it's a construction photo. This is not a construction photo. Where is the construction? And it gets even weirder when we look at the narrative, where in the beginning of its narrative, they named it the Agriculture and Horticulture Building. And then they switched it a year after the exhibition in 1916, which is normal. No. They switch it to the Foreign and Domestic Industries Building because it's a repurposed building. It's repurposed from the old world, because the previous civilization did not build this building to have it changed purposes over and over. They built it for a reason, and it was not to be a foreign and domestic industries building. This is the same thing where the USA is the land of the free. Yeah, they got a lot of free buildings that were located on their land in 1776. So it's getting a lot clearer now. And of course, the next sentence proves what we're saying here, that all of these buildings located in Balboa Park were found and repurposed. All of the names were switched from the original name over and over, which I believe is the case with all old world buildings. None of them were originally a bank. They weren't post offices. They weren't Capitol buildings. This is a worldwide operation, and these stories are just that. They're stories. When the name of this building has changed many times since it was found, naming it the County Fair Building, the Food and Beverage Building, and on and on. And of course, this was just your average food and beverage building over 100 years ago, where we are told that the facade looked like the entrance to a church, and this church look was reinforced because it had the appearance of a bishop in a medallion above the central door, and a cross in the starburst medallion. Okay, so this place was obviously incredible, and its original purpose is much different than what it's used for today, just like all of these other buildings. So in 1970 to 1971, they destroyed this building in a reconstruction project. And of course, the new one did not replicate the original. Now remember, World War I was in 1914. This exposition was in 1915. People were not concentrating on the narrative and all of its lies. And even if they were, how were they going to tell thousands of people about it? It just wasn't possible. So what happened to this building? Well, the people of San Diego were at a crossroads. They were in a bind with what to do with such a pathetic, temporary building, because we're always told that these buildings were just temporary, right? But they last forever if they just left them alone. With incredible architecture. What would they possibly use it for? Well, 1 year after the exposition in 1916, they built this building, and now what? The military needed the space, so the building got to stick around, where they used it as a barracks and a post office. And what do you know? This building was also damaged. The money was, of course, not enough to fix it, so it continued to deteriorate. I wonder what a lot of these wars are actually used for. They wouldn't be an operation to destroy the old world, would they? Remember when we were told that they stopped allowing the public into the California Tower in 1935? Well, the mainstream history just can't put their finger on why the Farm Bureau discontinued the use of Balboa Park for its county fair in 1931, just 4 years before the public was no longer allowed to go inside these buildings. Well, I would say that we know exactly why they didn't want to hold any county fairs here anymore at Balboa Park. And this wouldn't be an operation without a second exposition at the exact same location of Balboa Park. This one being held at the exact same year of 1935. It's incredible. Clearly they have found something major that went against their narrative, and they needed to run it back a second time. So in 1914, we get World War I. 1 year later, 1915, we get Balboa Park Exposition number 1. 1935, we get Balboa Park Exposition number 2. 1 year later, 1936, we get World War II, where they now have yet another name for this building, Building 212, used now by Red Cross, while the Navy yet again modified the interior. Are you still on the fence? Well, there wouldn't be another... No way. This is so clear at this point. The San Diego Aerospace Museum moved into the building, briefly, in September 1961, before transferring its exhibits across the street to the Electric Building in 1963, where they stayed until a fire in 1978 destroyed the building. Now, I have a lot to share, and I think we have a solid understanding at this point that the narrative surrounding Balboa Park has consistencies with what we have seen across the world.
You know, I've been living here a minute. There's probably 8 or 10 cows clustered. I thought it was weird the other day, but like, I mean, it's not even hot here yet. It's not even hot. Look at them all. And the babies are under the back tree. Look at them. That's some weird as fuck behavior.
Sean T.
Everybody ain't real. Everybody ain't real.
Conspiracy theory. That's a good one.
Ooh,
That's a good one for me. I ain't gonna lie.
Okay. All right. White people, y'all were created in a lab by a nigga named Yakub.
That's a real theory?
Yeah. And he was, you know, like, finally white people. That's the meme. He was like creating white people because he was upset.
Yeah.
He was mad.
Like it gotta be something else to offset the rest of
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's why the world is fucked up.
Okay.
He was being, you know.
I'm trying to see, do I want to give my life up this early? Telling the truth on camera is not good, man.
That's why I go Yakub every time, because it's like white people just go, oh, silly.
Elon Musk is from Mars.
Yes. Yes.
I got out of there clean, didn't I?
Yeah.
God, I had some smoky in my head.
The GOAT conspiracy theory cannot be said on camera.
You feel me?
It can't.
Because the powers that be, they watching us right now.
They gonna hit the button.
They can't do it.
Your money just go
Shout out to the powers that be, man.
Yeah, yeah. Love y'all, man. Love you guys.
On the cellular level, what Horus and Set really are, and what the rivalry is on a fucking quantum level through death. The real fight happens at death. That shit ain't nothing to do. All of that mythology is about death in the cellular process of how you have to will yourself with your mind to certain locations to get what you need. So, the strength of your mind when you die matters. How do you strengthen your mind? For death, it's called meditation, astral travel, which leads you into lucidity in that dream state. Another way, which I would have never said before, but after experience it, is through motherfucking drugs. Drugs. The drugs work if you're well studied. If you're not well studied, then you're gonna be high, having experiences that you still can't explain. After I was well studied, then I fucked with ayahuasca, mushrooms, crack, heroin, barbiturates, sniffing glue, speed. Mushrooms and ayahuasca took me, I was already able to talk to trees with the focus and the scrying. After I took the ayahuasca, I talked to trees like I talk to you now. And they got a lot of shit to say. I could just do a lecture on tree talk. The mushrooms did a hell of a lot at opening my perspective and opening up different areas of the imagination, which is the fucking greatest thing you can cultivate. Your imagination and how far it could go is an indication of your pineal. I didn't think that before, but your imagination is centered somewhere in pineal activity. It may be another part of your brain, and the science says, no, it's actually the right lobe. I'm sure it does, but spiritually, it has something to do with the third eye. Because once I started taking the mushrooms, which is shaped like the pineal, it is food for the pineal. And Kalindi was known for giving motherfuckers doses that I don't know. He would have had to hold my motherfucking hand, because me and B.O.B. took a master dose, because that nigga there. I went to his house. I'm like, let's do some shrooms, baby. And I'm thinking we're gonna sip some tea and have some giggles. That nigga boiled a pile of that shit. We drank 3 cups and took 2 long shrooms. All I remember is him being in the couch. All I remember was him being in 3 spots. The couch, the chair, and then just saying wild shit. And the way mushrooms hit, they go in cycles. You could be talking like this, and all of a sudden, you turn into this, and you see different visions each time you go into one of them cycles. And I understood immediately, because me and him would be talking, blah, 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 then both of us would do this shit at the same time. Then I said, oh, that's why they said you need to trip together. Like, you don't want to take a mushroom, then someone take one later. You're in different spots. When we took it together, it was hitting, so we was tripping together. So his cat, we was so high, I started going, yo, that cat's a government agent, nigga. Look how that motherfucker keep running on my leg, nigga. And each time you talk, he come to your leg, nigga. Watch. So we watching the cat. Yeah, look at that motherfucker. B.O.B. got rid of the cat the next day. Like, we thought he was a government agent. So I started thinking, yo, my house isn't real. First I started thinking, I said, wait a minute, nigga. You is Satan. And he was sitting like this to the side. And he's like, yeah, I'm Satan. I'm Satan. I said, oh, I think this is real. I said, my house isn't real. And I think I had to think it up. I thought Khadijah up. And I think it's over. I'll know if I could get an Uber. It's taking the address. So I'm in the Uber like, okay. Then I got to my subdivision and was like, okay, that did exist. So when I went upstairs and seen Khadijah, I just laid on the floor and said, oh, goddamn, I'm never taking mushrooms again. But me and you got to take mushrooms. I don't know what I was saying, but she kept laughing as I came down. I thought he wasn't real. He said he was Satan. And then niggas are telling me they're taking heavier doses with Baba Kalindi. Whoa, that's something. Taking those mushrooms, it opened up my imagination. I can recall, like any nigga, detail. And I want niggas to really understand the essence of this. So I'm gonna get intimate. I can understand the details in my mind of every pussy I ever got. I can always do this because I learned how to do this in cyclomancy, but the level of detail is so profound, so realistic in my memory. I totally get it. Something came online. I was always big on imagination and memory. That's your key. Your imagination is how you build worlds. Now here you build them with your hands, thinking. in your true quantum state, from your DNA, from your connection, from your learning, from what it is you love, you're in the world of potential energy. You can mold and shape it as thou wilt to the universe that you desire. That's heaven. But that can only happen outside of the body, which is what you're trying to get. Your true state of luxury defined by you, not defined by a place that you go. The place that you go is just a landscape, a clear map to build your universe. I play a game called Tropical 6. What's that other game? Cityscapes. All of these games, starting from the 90s when I played Age of Empires, which I wish they would have. Then there was all these Age of Empire spin-offs. The concept is you start with a villager in a village and you build a functioning city. I've always done that. I love that because I understand after this Holocaust that I chose to go through to bring others out of, because that's what I do, from the pan faction. Oh, there are factions, nigga. I found out after the ayahuasca, talking to the trees and the mushrooms, people are down here for this is a nursery. Most people who are just born, who come from factions of energy in the universe, areas, comedians are a faction of energy. There's a pansexual energy. Laughter. Pan is a big one. And I'm not just saying that because I'm panicked, because for years I met so many pan motherfuckers. B.O.B. is a pan motherfucker. I don't just say that because that's what I'm on, Baphomet. When I did the ayahuasca, I wanted to find out who B.O.B. was. And the trees told me, oh, he's your brother. He's a pan. We're raised and born of forest energy, tree energy. That's why the ayahuasca started talking to where I'm from. The trees started telling me any place where nature exists, they can move through the quantum world and visit. So in other words, that tree isn't local. The physical structure of the tree is local, but the consciousness of the tree can move through any tree on this planet in any nature structure in the universe. That's a pan energy. So we're able, if we wanted to, without coming back into a human body, through nature, go anywhere we want in any existence, because a lot of these existences are moving for different reasons. Ultimately, to get to the level of consciousness, to understand the
version of that, it's have you ever. He said, have you ever walked down on somebody with a poker face? Have you ever had to do it yourself, Drake, with a straight face? You ever go to court with an open case and $500,000 on the line? Kendrick's like, I have, and I lost both of those. There's a reason for this. Also, he's like, I hate when we start to talk about all these things of violence, and then it happens, and then somebody goes online and like, oh yeah, take care of them, pray for them. His daddy a killer, he want to be Junior. They must forget the that they done. Dementia must run in his family, but let it get shaky. I'll park your son. First of all, your daddy's a killer is Birdman. You want to be a Junior. You want to be Lil Wayne's son. I know it's weird, but this tracks. Because your daddy is the one who's running Cash Money Records. It's the only one he's signed to. You want to be a Junior. You've always, with Lil Wayne, it's always been this weird contention. Dementia must run in your family. Like, you forgot. And then when it gets shaky, because you also get a little bit of shaky, I'll park son. Parkinson's. Parkinson's disease makes you shake. Parkinson's disease makes you shake. All right, nobody clip that and make me that guy on the internet, please. The very first time I shot a Drake, the homie told me, aim this way. I didn't point down enough. Today, I show you I learned from these mistakes. Somebody had told me that you got a ring. On God, I'm ready to double the wage. A Drake is also an AR, and when you aim it, it tends to go poo-too-too-too-too. Aim down. Kendrick saying he learned from how to shoot a Drake the first time, he'll shoot a Drake right the second time. The ring line is because Drake bought a Tupac-owned ring at one point, so he's willing to, like, I'm willing to pay double, which I believe is $1 million. It's crazy to tell somebody in a rap diss, you have something I want. But there's a reason. I'd rather do that than let a Canadian dude make Pac turn in his grave. I'd rather blow $1 million than you own something that Tupac owned. Cutthroat business, you got twisted. What is it, the braids? I hurt your feelings? I just love that. You don't want to work with me no more? Well, okay. Cutthroat business, you got twisted. What is it, the braids? I hurt your feelings. You don't want to work with me no more? Well, okay. There's 3 goats left and I see 2 of them kissing and hugging on stage. I love them to death, and that ain't bars that I'll explain. The phrase, it's nothing. Nobody can tell me, What is it, the braids is absolutely hilarious. I love this. The hurt your feelings, don't want to work with me no more comes back when he released this verse called Control. If you haven't heard it, it's the base for all of this. He said a line on there where it's like, I want to make sure that I murder you, make sure your core fans never heard of you. And that goes for Big Crit, Wale, ASAP, Meek Mills, ASAP Rocky, and Drake. I know I messed up the cadence, and I listed people wrong. But it was to show that he didn't just diss one. After that, Drake was seen in an interview, and he's like, I do not want to work with him ever again in his career. So, now this. And the 3 goats left, see 2 of them kissing and hugging on stage. It's still like, I love you to Cole, which I find strange because he also disses Cole here in a minute. But he's just not going to explain it. It'll always be love. And Kendrick's going to Kendrick.
Your motherfucking wigs, because I'm getting ready to blow them back. I delivered. Now, I gave y'all the clear version because I got 4 videos. This is the first one. I said, they ain't ready for this. They ain't going to understand it. I said a portal opened up. It opened up April the 1st, side driveway. Manco came through. I got 4 videos. This is the first one. This is the first one, y'all. Look at this shit. Ain't got nothing to do with the camera, baby. The camera was steady recording. The camera captured everything. Keep watching. Oh, you gonna see. And if you wasn't a believer before, you gonna be a believer afterwards. I said hold tight to them wigs, because I'm getting ready to blow them motherfuckers all the way back. Keep watching. Have a seat. Keep watching. When I said there are portals opening up on my property, there's certain places I can't even walk at night because of the physical symptoms I feel. Literally sick to my stomach, lightheaded, feeling like, man, we done heard ourselves echo in our backyard, and it doesn't happen all the time, you guys. Like, literally, I'll say something and my voice will echo. Like, are you serious? Go out there the next night. It don't do it anymore. Look at them, you guys. Check them out. Please believe me when I tell you my story is authentic. There's going to be people that are going to be inspired by me. They're going to try to take my story and write a book. They're going to run with it, you guys. Can't nobody copy me. I am the original. This is my story. This is my story. You understand? Just like the other people that have come to the public. That's their story. You got your copycatters. You got people out here hollering. It's happening to them. Where's their footage? Where's their pictures? Where's the scars on their body? They don't got any. Anybody can take pictures around a house and find faces in it. Y'all, my shit pops. They stand out. Yeah, they might try to blend, but they stand out. Have I not delivered time and time and time and time again? When I tell you I am getting messages from these beings, you got to trust me on this. Man, I came from a sheltered home, you guys. Homeschooled. Only went to, 7th grade. My mother homeschooled me for the rest. I did not know about any of this shit. The things that I am sharing with y'all, I have never heard of it before. Look at them, y'all. There's no denying this. And listen, I got screenshots for you. Y'all know I'm a beast when it comes to them screenshots. I don't play around. I couldn't even upload the full video. It's 13 minutes. I couldn't do it because we're only allowed to do 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Look at them, y'all. There are your screenshots. There's your screenshots. And I have 3 more videos and I have timestamps on them that came after the first one. I caught the portal opening. That is why it did all of that. Like I told you guys time and time and time again, you'll know when you're looking at a portal. You'll know when you're recording one. Because it's going to fuck with, man, it's going to be blurry. It's going to be distorted. It's going to do some shit that you ain't never understood. Look at them, y'all. I could see if it just messed with the fucking video, but we're actually seeing fucking creatures and beings popping through the shit. But remember, I'm just some crazy lady in Ohio, hollering that all types of beings, creatures are coming nonstop. I wish it would stop, but it's not going to stop. So I'm going to comply. They have not hurt me. We're still here. We're still going. There are evil ones and there are good ones. And from my experience in these past 3 years, every time I fall down and I become full of pain, full of anger, hell, if I get too frustrated, guess what happens? I begin to experience the darker ones. I've seen many, many things over the years of my life. And I just can't stress to you guys. This shit right here puts the icing on the cake. Look at them, y'all. Since November 2020. Matter of fact, just a few months after the whole world shut the fuck down. And we were told to get in our house and stay in our house. That's when we started to experience this shit. I'm not just somebody coming out with a book or fucking telling stories. I don't have to say nothing, y'all. I could just post my videos and hashtag that shit and let it be. Because my videos speak for their self. And if you ain't convinced on this one, come to my page. Check them out. Make sure you start at the beginning now. Ain't nothing like picking up a book and reading the last chapter. Make sure you go to the beginning. And don't forget, you guys, I'm on YouTube. Divine Pisces 444. Never in my life have I practiced voodoo, witchcraft. Hell, I wasn't even into astrology until this shit happened. Crystals, none of that. Hell, I didn't even know about ISIS. I knew nothing about the pyramids. I don't know about any of that stuff. For those of you who keep saying these are fallen angels, I pray for y'all. I pray for y'all. Because y'all following false light and don't even know it. Y'all so lost. Keep on relying on another person's perception.
Christopher Columbus in his journal said about the Indians, they are so naive and so free with their possessions that no one who has not witnessed them would believe it. When you ask for something they have, they never say no. To the contrary, they offer to share with anyone. And he wrote that in his journal, mocking them. Because he came from a land full of the worst kinds of people. And so coming in contact with human beings that were so open to sharing and caring and loving was to be mocked. Horrible people. These people were horrible people. And we have a fucking holiday for Christopher Columbus. We have to start from scratch. There is no we have to pull out every little piece of history that the United States has taught us, grab it and pull it out by our ears and burn it. Burn it. These people were fucking horrible.